Hello and welcome to Business Wrap. I'm Sidhant Sibal and let's go first straight to the top headlines. Mumbai Airport gets a swanky new world-class Terminal 2. The new terminal can cater over 40 million passengers annually. Exports continue the positive trajectory, grow by 3%, imports fall by 15%, trade deficit contracts. Markets end in green on the last day of the week. Sensex gains 45 points, Nifty gains 3 points. Infosys is the top gainer on the Sensex. Industrial production contracts by 2.1% in November 2013. Consumption growth shrinks, but manufacturing, electricity and capital goods show growth. And Q3 season kicks in with a big bang. Infosys profit rises 21.35%, beats street estimates. Narayan Murthy says working hard to make Infosys the aspirational company it was. Hello and welcome to DD News. I'm Sidhant Sibal and we have a power-packed show lined up from Infy's Q3 numbers to trade data share and Mumbai takes to the sky with a new terminal. Let's go straight to the top story. It's official. Mumbai has a new shining address. T2 terminal at the Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport was inaugurated today by the Prime Minister and he dedicated to the nation the new terminal T2 of the Mumbai Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport. The new terminal has been built by GVK-led consortium. T2 has been built at the cost of over 12,500 crore rupees. T2 covers an area of over 1,400 hectares. Granite that can cover 27 football fields has been used in its construction. The most attractive feature of the swanky terminal is the Museum of Artifacts. Titled Jai Hai, it offers a glimpse into India's rich legacy. The Prime Minister said that the new terminal will establish new global benchmarks.
This terminal is expected to establish new global benchmarks of functional efficiency and operational safety for airports. Our ability as a nation to build world-class infrastructure. I have no doubt that this terminal will fulfill the expectations we have from it and make us all feel very proud.
And our correspondent Sumit gets us an exclusive preview of the T2 terminal which was inaugurated today.
The newly built Terminal 2 of the Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport will be ready for action in the next few weeks. While the airport opens to public only in a couple of weeks, a sneak peek into what this 4-story megastructure has to offer. What makes T2 unique is its rooftop that is inspired from 1,000 white dancing peacocks and is embedded with special dichroic lenses that moves in accordance with the changing direction of the sun and reflects an array of rays which is reminiscent of the peacock feathers. Mumbai can now boast of an airport at par with the best in the world, from gardens and fountains to multi-level car parks. The Mumbai International Airport is a joint venture between GVK-led consortium and Airports Authority of India. The decision to build a new terminal was taken to expand the congested facility in early 2007. Initially, Mumbai International Airport Limited was given 2,000 acres of land but was only able to use 1,400 acres as the rest was occupied by slums and housing colonies. For passengers complaining of immigration delays at the old international terminal's 80 immigration counters, T2 has 140 counters. With a larger waiting area, crowding too will be reduced. The multi-level car park is another feather in its cap. Space for over 5,000 vehicles, the 9-storied car park is one of the biggest in the country. 37 travelators, 48 escalators and 72 elevators aid those who fret over rushing to take connecting flights. T2 in fact has India's tallest airport escalator that stands at 11.6 meters. Terminal T2 will show off some of the best of Indian art and craft to foreign visitors as well as Indians. A 6-lane elevated road will lead passengers from the Western Express Highway to T2, cutting down on travel time. When fully functional, domestic flights too will be shifting to the terminal. With the terminal attaining operational capabilities, Mumbai will add another landmark to its record books. The T2 terminal will not only double the air traffic in India's commercial capital, but will also boost passenger capacity up to 40 million from the existing 32 million. With camera person Sumit, this is Sumit Roy for DD News.
Well, after that, I'm really excited to go to Mumbai. On that note, time for a short break. More after the break.
तारीख बदलती है, आंकड़े बदलते हैं, तस्वीरें बदल जाती हैं, लेकिन सच नहीं बदलता। अपने परिवार को इस खौफनाक सच से बचाएं, सावधानी से गाड़ी चलाएं। गलत लेन में ड्राइविंग, तेज रफ्तार, सीट बेल्ट नहीं लगाना और ट्रैफिक सिग्नल की अनदेखी जैसी गलतियां जानलेवा हो सकती हैं।
लो, फिर से आ गए पोलियो वाले।
अच्छा ही तो है। आखिर अपने बच्चे को पोलियो से सुरक्षित रखना है, इसलिए मैं हर बार अपने मुन्ने को पोलियो की खुराक दिलवाऊंगी।
ले 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 ले। अरे पोलियो वाले घर तो आते ही हैं, फिर बूथ क्यों जाना?
अगर गलती से हमारा घर छूट गया तो चाहे कुछ भी हो, मैं तो मुन्ने को हर बार पोलियो बूथ ले जाऊंगी।
आने वाले पोलियो अभियान में अपने 5 साल तक के बच्चों को 2 बूंद पोलियो की खुराक जरूर पिलवाएं।
अब राजीव आवास योजना के अंतर्गत स्लम वासियों को मिलेगा अपना घर, अपनी जमीन पर अपना घर और मालिकाना हक।
अरे छोड़ो, ये सुनते सुनते मैं बूढ़ा हो गया।
ये देखो,
अब जिएंगे सम्मान से,
जिएंगे शान से,
राजीव आवास योजना का सहारा है।
अपना भी घर होगा, अपनी इज्जत होगी।
शहर में ही अपना पता होगा, राजीव आवास योजना का सहारा है। शहर से जुड़े अब रहेंगे हम, रोजी रोटी और मकान का होगा ये संगम।
बच्चों की पाठशाला हो, भविष्य उनका उज्जवल हो।
राजीव आवास योजना का सहारा है। घर घर में नल होगा, पानी झरझर होगा,
आएगी रोशनी, हर तरफ उजाला होगा।
भारत सरकार, राज्य सरकार एवं स्थानीय निकायों का साझा प्रयास। राजीव आवास योजना, सबको हक, सबका सम्मान।
लो, फिर से आ गए पोलियो वाले।
अच्छा ही तो है। आखिर अपने बच्चे को पोलियो से सुरक्षित रखना है, इसलिए मैं हर बार अपने मुन्ने को पोलियो की खुराक दिलवाऊंगी।
ले 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 ले। अरे पोलियो वाले घर तो आते ही हैं, फिर बूथ क्यों जाना?
अगर गलती से हमारा घर छूट गया तो चाहे कुछ भी हो, मैं तो मुन्ने को हर बार पोलियो बूथ ले जाऊंगी।
आने वाले पोलियो अभियान में अपने 5 साल तक के बच्चों को 2 बूंद पोलियो की खुराक जरूर पिलवाएं।
तारीख बदलती है, आंकड़े बदलते हैं, तस्वीरें बदल जाती हैं, लेकिन सच नहीं बदलता। अपने परिवार को इस खौफनाक सच से बचाएं, सावधानी से गाड़ी चलाएं। गलत लेन में ड्राइविंग, तेज रफ्तार, सीट बेल्ट नहीं लगाना और ट्रैफिक सिग्नल की अनदेखी जैसी गलतियां जानलेवा हो सकती हैं।
क्या हुआ बेटा?
बच्चे और उनके माता पिता बाल यौन उत्पीड़न के प्रति सजग हों तो अनिष्ट से बचा जा सकता है। बाल यौन अपराध से सुरक्षा अधिनियम 2012 के तहत अपराधी को सख्त सजा देने का प्रावधान है।
लो, फिर से आ गए पोलियो वाले।
अच्छा ही तो है। आखिर अपने बच्चे को पोलियो से सुरक्षित रखना है, इसलिए मैं हर बार अपने मुन्ने को पोलियो की खुराक दिलवाऊंगी।
ले 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 ले। अरे पोलियो वाले घर तो आते ही हैं, फिर बूथ क्यों जाना?
अगर गलती से हमारा घर छूट गया तो चाहे कुछ भी हो, मैं तो मुन्ने को हर बार पोलियो बूथ ले जाऊंगी।
आने वाले पोलियो अभियान में अपने 5 साल तक के बच्चों को 2 बूंद पोलियो की खुराक जरूर पिलवाएं।
Well, the good news continues on the trade front. Exports continue to be in positive territory, while imports fell. Exports rose by 3.49% in December. Imports fell by 15%. Gold and silver imports too fell. The gold and silver imports stood at $1.77 billion in December versus $5.6 billion a year earlier. The trade deficit contracted and came in at $10.14 billion. The contraction in trade deficit is good news as CAD or current account deficit is now expected to narrow. Remember, CAD has been giving headache to policymakers for a long time now. The industrial output contracted to 2.1%, signaling a steep decline in consumption activity. However, barring consumption growth, other baskets have actually shown traces of improvement. Manufacturing, electricity, capital goods have all shown growth at varying degree in the month of November. The weak IIP may cause the Reserve Bank of India to go slow on interest rate hikes. The January monetary policy thus may signal a pause. On to Q3 results, the country's second largest software service firm, Infosys, posted better than expected net profit of 2,875 crore rupees, an increase of 21.4% in the third quarter ended December 31st. Revenue rose 25% to 13,026 crore rupees from 10,424 crore rupees. India's second biggest outsourcer also upped its annual sales outlook, a sign actually that the outsourcing demand is improving in key markets like the US and Europe. Infosys and its subsidiaries added 54 clients during the quarter. And in a conference call with analysts and later with media, Narayan Murthy answered a host of questions relating to the company, in which he said that high-profile exits are good for Infosys. He also said that his son Rohan Murthy is doing a brilliant job at Infosys. Infosys founder N.R. Narayan Murthy has been making a series of changes at the company, getting it to refocus on winning large outsourcing contracts and accelerate growth. Murthy returned to Infosys as executive chairperson in June after a strategy to sell proprietary software-based services and consultancy didn't take off as anticipated. On that note, time for another short break, and after the break, all the market action.
अरे सुन तो।
मुझे क्या सुनाना चाहते हो? जो सुनाओ मेरी सौतन को।
किसको?
अरे वही तुम्हारा मोबाइल फोन जिससे सुबह शाम दिन रात चिपके रहते थे और कहते थे किसान कॉल सेंटर से बातें हो रही हैं।
अच्छा ये बात है।
हाँ क्यों? क्या हुआ? अब बात नहीं होती क्या?
अब तो झट से बात हो जाती है।
ऐसा क्या?
हाँ अब तो ज्यादा लाइनें और खास तकनीक के कारण खेती के माहिरों से तुरंत बात हो जाती है। और अगर कभी लाइन व्यस्त हो तो अपनी समस्या फोन पर रिकॉर्ड करा दो, वहाँ से फोन आ जाता है और समस्या की हल का मैसेज भी आ जाता है। ये देखो आ गया।
अरे वाह, इसका मतलब इंतजार की घड़ी अब खत्म।
हाँ
तभी मैं सोचूं कि आजकल मुझ पर इतना प्यार क्यों आ रहा है।
कृषि संबंधी समस्याओं का अपनी भाषा में तुरंत हल पाने के लिए पूरे भारत में किसी भी फोन से हेल्पलाइन नंबर पर संपर्क करें। किसानों का दोस्त किसान कॉल सेंटर।
लो फिर से आ गए पोलियो वाले।
अच्छा ही तो है, आखिर अपने बच्चे को पोलियो से सुरक्षित रखना है, इसलिए मैं हर बार अपने मुन्ने को पोलियो की खुराक दिलवाऊंगी।
ले 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 ले। अरे पोलियो वाले घर तो आते ही हैं, फिर बूथ क्यों जाना?
अगर गलती से हमारा घर छूट गया तो चाहे कुछ भी हो, मैं तो मुन्ने को हर बार पोलियो बूथ ले जाऊंगी।
आने वाले पोलियो अभियान में अपने 5 साल तक के बच्चों को 2 बूंद पोलियो की खुराक जरूर पिलवाएं।
बैठो, बोलो, जरा ठीक से सांस लो। अरे वंदना, ये दाग अभी हाल में उभरा है या काफी समय से है?
कुछ एक आध साल हो गया है, मगर कोई परेशानी नहीं है।
छूने से महसूस होता है कि शून्य है?
कुछ पता नहीं लगता है। परेशानी तो बस एक ही है कि ये खांसी ठीक नहीं हो रही।
खांसी के इलाज के साथ साथ तुम्हें कुष्ठ रोग के इलाज की भी जरूरत है, लेकिन चिंता की कोई बात नहीं, कुष्ठ रोग का इलाज मुफ्त होता है। एमडीटी की दवा खाओ, कुष्ठ रोग को तन से मिटाओ।
सच?
कुष्ठ मुक्त भारत का सपना चलो साकार करें।
लो, फिर से आ गए पोलियो वाले।
अच्छा ही तो है, आखिर अपने बच्चे को पोलियो से सुरक्षित रखना है, इसलिए मैं हर बार अपने मुन्ने को पोलियो की खुराक दिलवाऊंगी।
ले 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 ले। अरे पोलियो वाले घर तो आते ही हैं, फिर बूथ क्यों जाना?
अगर गलती से हमारा घर छूट गया तो? चाहे कुछ भी हो, मैं तो मुन्ने को हर बार पोलियो बूथ ले जाऊंगी।
आने वाले पोलियो अभियान में अपने 5 साल तक के बच्चों को 2 बूंद पोलियो की खुराक जरूर पिलवाएं।
Well, the markets ended in positive territory today. Sensex gained 45 points to end at 20,758 levels, while NSE Nifty ended 3 points up 6,171. Both S&P BSE Sensex and 50-unit CNX Nifty hit their highest level in more than a week in afternoon trade. The market breadth indicating the overall health of the market was negative. Among the 30-share Sensex pack, 19 stocks declined and rest of them gained. Infosys gained 2.75% to end at 3,546 rupees. Gainers on the chart were Infosys, Wipro, ITC, TCS and Dr. Reddy's Lab, which were up by between 3 to 1%. Losers on the chart were ICICI Bank, Coal India, Mahindra & Mahindra, Hindalco and SSLT, which were down by between 3 to 2%. On to global market action, the European stocks edged higher on Friday as investors awaited data that may show American jobs made their biggest annual gain since 2005. Key benchmark indices in UK, France and Germany were up by between 0.44% to 0.72%. On to Asian markets, the Asian stocks rose on Friday as data showed China's trade surplus narrowed and investors awaited a report on US payrolls. Key benchmark indices in Indonesia, Japan, Hong Kong and Taiwan rose by between 0.17% to 1.28%. Key benchmark indices in China, Singapore and South Korea fell by between 0.05% to 0.71%. From the Lal Street to the Min Street, the rupee closed higher by 17 paise to end at 61.90 against the US dollar. Overall, the week saw a volatility on the markets. Let's take a look at the week gone by for the markets.
Market started the week on a weak note. Sensex closed 64 points down, while NSE Nifty closed 20 points down. The trend continued on Tuesday as well. Sensex declines 94 points to a 3-week low. Nifty also moves down by 29 points. The start of the new year was worst since 1996, and since 1st January 2014, the losses continue. And it was only on Wednesday, 8th January, the market saw its first closing in the green. Both Sensex and Nifty ended in the green after 5 straight sessions of losses. Sensex gained 36 points while Nifty gained 12 points. Coal India gained 5% on the back of interim dividend news. On Thursday, flat was the word. The 30-share benchmark Sensex closed at 20,713, down by 16 points. Nifty also reflected the same mood and shut shop at 6,168, down by 6 points. But it was Friday the market saw the first real positive trend. Sensex rose 60 points in early trade. Positive trade data and a good start to Q3 season gave a boost to the markets. Infosys started the Q3 season on a positive note. The IT company's net profit rose to 2,875 crore rupees, beating street estimates. Infosys stock rose 2% immediately after the announcement of the results. Shirley Murthy magic is back at Infosys. On the trade front too, the deficit is coming down, and this will also reduce pressure on the current account deficit, which had been giving policymakers a headache. Business Desk, DD News.
PSU exchange traded fund or ETFs 11 companies will be part of ETF baskets, including coal major Coal India Limited. The centre plans to rake 3,000 crore rupees from this fund, which is not a very large amount, but the idea is the first of a kind in India. Several countries like Singapore already have PSU ETFs, and this will give any investor an exposure in 11 companies together. The government has been working on this for more than a year now. Meanwhile, the government on Wednesday decided to retain the policy of allowing 100% foreign investment in existing pharma firms. Meanwhile, the DIPP released discussion paper on FDI in e-commerce. More such business news in our weekly business wrap.
The week started with news from that's likely to have widespread ramifications. The Delhi High Court allowed the CAG audit of private telecom companies. Supreme Court directed Centre to appoint National Forest Regulator to oversee the implementation of forest policies. Indian Railway Finance Corporation, which is the fundraising arm of the Indian Railways, came out with tax-free bonds issue. The issue will close on February 20th. Coming to Tuesday, government to offload stakes in Indian Oil, Engineers India and BHEL, HAL in the ongoing financial year. In the auto sector, Honda launched its 4th generation sedan City in both petrol and diesel variants. The 12th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas opened in New Delhi. The US Senate confirmed Janet Yellen as the new leader of the Federal Reserve, marking the first time a woman has headed the world's most powerful central bank. On Wednesday, wooing Indian diaspora, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh said that country's economy is heading for good times. Meanwhile, meeting a Korean delegation, Finance Minister P. Chidambaram said that he expects the country to grow by around 5% this year. Also, Parliament session will be held in February, during which the government will get vote on account passed. And good news for Indian startups, Facebook bought Indian tech startup Little Eye Labs. This is Facebook's first Indian acquisition. In United States, polar vortex continue to take a toll on the economy with virtually everything on a standstill. On Thursday, Supreme Court directed Sahara Group to reveal the source of 22,000 crore rupees, which it claimed to have paid to its investors, says its orders barring Sahara chief Subrata Roy from leaving the country will continue. Attorney General tells Supreme Court something has gone wrong in allocation of coal blocks, says Centre took decision in good faith. From the Cabinet approved financial support to BSNL and MTNL, also gave nod to regulatory framework for TV rating agencies and the National Youth Policy. And finally, on the last day of the week, Friday, the Q3 season got a big bang opening with good Infosys numbers and Mumbai Swanky Terminal 2 inaugurated. Business Bureau, DD News.
Well, political tension in Bangladesh is squeezing its $22 billion garment industry. Orders from global retailers have dropped as they worry about unrest and disruptions to the supply chain. But what could be bad news for Bangladesh textile industry may be good news for Indian textile industry. Take a look.
The political crisis in Bangladesh, caused by a bitter rivalry between the two main parties, is taking its toll on the country's $22 billion garment industry. Factories such as Ananta, which hires 7,000 workers and supplies garments for Gap, H&M and Walmart, are seeing orders drop by about 25%. Supply chains are also hit by strikes and roadblocks instigated by opposition activists, which have halted delivery trucks. Shipment costs have tripled, with drivers facing risk of deadly petrol bomb attacks. Such unrest has scared away investors who have shifted their orders to other manufacturers such as Vietnam, India and Cambodia.
The customer get panic, and customer are really concerned that the investment what they are doing, whether it been secured or not, of course they will have to have this kind of feelings, because we ourselves really worried that whether at all our investment is secured or not, whether at all we can really deliver the goods on timely or not.
Bangladesh's garment industry is second only to China's, and it employs about 5 million people directly, while tens of millions more, from truck drivers to other laborers, are dependent on this crucial sector. Business Bureau, DD News.
Well, further unrest in Bangkok could dent investor confidence in Teflon, Thailand, while the new year brings fresh listing to the Southeast Asia's exchanges. Here's the outlook for next week for India and rest of the Asia. Well, it seems there's some technical problem, but before we leave, we'll go for the recap of the headlines. Mumbai's airport get a swanky new world-class Terminal 2. The new terminal can cater over 40 million passengers annually. Exports continue the positive trajectory, grow by 3%, imports fall by 15%, trade deficit contracts. Markets end in green on the last day of the week. Sensex gains 45 points, Nifty gains 3 points. Infosys is the top gainer on the Sensex. Industrial production contracts by 2.1% in November 2013. Consumption growth shrinks, but manufacturing, electricity and capital goods show good growth. And Q3 season kicks in with a big bang. Infosys profit results rises 21.35%, beats street estimates. Gran Murthy says working hard to make Infosys the aspirational company it was. Well, that's all in this edition of Business Wrap. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.